Are you also a victim of Rodney Branigan owing you $5? Go to RodneyOwesMe5bucks.com and fill out our survey. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Still Austin Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This is a new rye blend called The Musician, first in a series because music has the ability to bring us all closer together, to make us feel more free and alive, just like great whiskey. Still Austin, owned locally, distilled in Austin, 100% Texas. Cheers.
Oh, cheers, buddy.
Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you too, Jerry. It's nice to be back.
Nice to be back. Yeah. Man, when I saw you guys walking up the street the other day, I thought, that guy looks like Rodney. And I saw the guy with the thing, and I was like, that guy looks like Braden. But surely that's not, because I was actually thinking about calling you and saying, hey, what are you doing Wednesday, you know?
Yeah.
And then, sure enough, you were, what were we all doing, taking pictures of murals?
Yeah, the murals, man. That's quite a new thing for me. I've been gone for almost 3 years now, in terms of not even visiting, really, because of the lockdowns.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just interesting to see how much Amarillo has changed.
Dude, man, they had a huge concert, like giant stage downtown.
I miss all this stuff.
Yeah, what's that? There's a band, Nini, that played. I guess that cat passed away recently. The guy that sang for that band.
Oh yeah, I saw that as well.
And vamping, and I mean, it was crazy, and just amazing artists. You know, I mean, like, what the hell? You know, where these people come from? You know,
that's Metropolis stuff in Amarillo. It's pretty mad. Yeah.
Over like at the Music Box, there's this cat that passed away a few years ago named Elliot. That's when I first started noticing they started doing like really nice like portrait murals and stuff. I'm like, how the fuck are they painting these in here with spray cans? You know, I mean, like, these dudes are amazing. You know, and it's like street art to me is like one of the last real forms of tangible, visible art. Kind of like, you know, I've always felt like vert skate and BMX, all that shit's like a last real sport, you know. And even that's in the Olympics now. And I don't know, man. The world's changing.
It's all become legitimized now. Yeah.
What was the pandemic like in England?
Oh, it was a bit strange. I live quite secluded in out in the countryside, so they gave us an hour a day to exercise outdoors. That was
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was really strict. Initially, it was really strict. But since I live out in the countryside, we could do it really whenever we wanted to.
Yeah.
But actually, I quite enjoyed it after the initial shock of oh crap, all my industry's gone.
It was fucking weird, man. I didn't have a grasp of what was going on with it, you know. Like, I mean, it was like, it was kind of, you know, how everything kind of matriculates into Texas late, you know, like watching all the stuff in the news and just seeing all these people freaking out, and then, you know, all the people starting to die from it. And, you know, we were kind of joking about it at first, you know, because we remember like when they had SARS back in China a few years ago, and we didn't really catch any of the brunt from that, you know, and so we're like, it's just another.
I actually caught bird flu in Beijing.
Did you really?
Yeah, in 2007. I was on tour I was in Beijing. I was in Beijing, Tianjin, and Nanjing, I think, in China. Ended up doing the rest of the tour in Hong Kong and Singapore and Malaysia, and I think we're in Indonesia as well. But yeah, in the middle of that part of Beijing, all of a sudden got the flu, and it was when the bird flu was really prevalent. Couldn't get a translator to come anywhere close to us.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
That was probably the most. Oh man, it was miserable. It was miserable, and the most miserable part of it is I didn't speak the language enough to go out and get medicine or anything like that. So I ended up trying to go sort food with the little bit of Chinese that I had from a Chinese tour guide.
Yeah.
And ended up going and buying these because my agent at the time was a vegetarian, so I found these vegetarian pancakes, and then I found these other meat pancakes and decided I was going to eat these meat pancakes. And then after we got well, and the agency, the solicitor, which is a lawyer for the agency, was telling her, describing these pancakes. He's like, "Oh, you ate the dog pancake." I'm sorry, nobody was there to tell you that. So I got bird flu, and so yeah, COVID.
Wow.
I was ready for COVID, really.
So that's a man's best friend.
Yeah, definitely. Man's
best friend becomes the most important meal of the day.
Oh, I became a vegetarian for 7 years after that.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
Which is a weird thing when you're coming back to Texas.
Yeah.
And your family's like, "Oh, we're going doing steaks." So, well, I don't eat meat anymore. It's like, ooh, what happened to Rodney?
Yeah.
Kissing boys now as well.
Yeah. Oh, terrible. Guys, if you're just now catching up to us, we've got Rodney Branigan on. He's visiting home from places abroad. Rodney's been all over the damn world. You're kind of a hometown hero, buddy. So you've got a lot stories that people want to hear. I mean, so what made you decide to move to England?
It was opportunity more than anything. Yeah. I moved off to Nashville for a little while after, because I think I left Amarillo back in 2000, 2001, something
been
like
gone
that.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah, and just kind of lived in a car for 5 years, just traveling around, because that's the cheap and easy way to be a musician, and
sure.
you don't have to learn new material. You have to find a new audience for your old material all the time. So I was traveling back and forth around doing that, and then. I had everything kind of going for me in Nashville. I had an agency that was representing me as far as booking agency, and then I also had a record label I was working with. I had a publishing company I was working with, and all around 6 months period, all those things kind of disappeared, because it was like 2003 or 2004 that there was this massive. Like I had conversations and meetings with people that were really high up in it, like Atlantic Records and Lava Records was one of the record labels I was talking to around that time about signing a deal, and all those guys just lost their jobs all over the course of about 6 months. It was just a
Napster thing, or what was it? I mean,
pretty much.
Yeah, really.
It was. Yeah, you can trace it back to the MP3 for sure, and Napster, and the fact that there was so much, and the fact that a lot of these guys had been in the industry so long, they were pulling massive salaries. And for these record labels to survive at the time, if you had a massive salary, you had a target on your back. So one of the guys I was working with at Columbia, he had been working. He was an A&R rep for like Tori Amos, and he'd been in the industry for 30 years or something like that. And after we were talking about signing a deal with Columbia at one point, he lost his job. So all that stuff kind of happened at once. And so I just personally was like, screw it, I'm gonna go do it myself. So I did the same thing I had been doing, got in a car, drove coast to coast, and then had an opportunity for a gig from somebody they had met in LA at the NAMM show. She said, come out to London, I've got a festival I'm putting on, and it happened to be at Hampton Court Palace, which was King Henry VIII's palace, where Anne Boleyn sat and waited to have her head chopped off. And and they brought me in to headline that festival. It was an Americana festival, and after that I was like, well, this is cool, and signed with an agency, and then that was based in London. And at the same time that was happening, all my other work here was just kind of either stagnating or drying up. And so the management group that I signed with in London, they were able to get me a record label in France, and an agency agreement for China, and an agency agreement for India. And so I ended up releasing 2 albums in France nationally, which was strange. Like,
that's crazy.
You go, yeah, it's very, very weird. I've played for massive audiences in Europe. It's like thousands and thousands of people. I've been invited to.
I've seen some of the videos.
Yeah, they're cool. They're cool from my standpoint as well, because it's. And small town boy playing in front of 5,000 Corsicans that don't actually understand a word that I'm singing. But
that was my next question. When it's the language barrier in China, obviously. How do you get gigs in China? How do you understand where you're going? How do you, there's a lot to absorb.
Yeah.
I
was fortunate that most of those agreements and those tours were booked out of the UK. So the agent that I toured with in China, she was there to be a translator, or she had somebody there that was a translator, which we had some awkward situations within that sometimes. One time I was stuck with a translator that actually didn't speak English. He studied guitar in Spain, so with my limited Spanish lessons, I had to translate from Chinese through Spanish to...
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was difficult. That took a long time to say anything. But in India, probably 43% of the population totally speaks English as a first language, or some derivative of. So that was easy. In India has always been easy to get around. China was much more difficult. France, they probably speak more English than they let you know on. They like to...
so is the hatred of Americans real there? Is that
I think so. I don't think they hate Americans so much as they... And this applies to the British as well. The British and Americans have a tendency to go to some place like France and expect to be able to just speak English in every place we go.
Yeah.
And English is not a prevalent language in some place like France. There you will find people that do speak it, but sometimes very basically. I mean, they speak English as much as we speak French. So there's always so we always feel like they don't like Americans, but actually what they don't like is the frustration that we bring in trying to communicate with them. If you try to speak to French people in French, they will love you, even if you do it really badly. They'll all of a sudden...
Really?
Yeah. Oh, man. They will bend over backwards to help you if you try. And that's the... But like I said, that's the same thing with... And I'm sure you get it with Germans or anybody that goes into any country and doesn't at least try. If you try to speak the language, they eat it up. And
interesting.
You try with more than bad words. I'm like... Bad words. They don't get you anywhere.
Give a shit about that.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you leave, then this 18-year-old kid flicks his cigarette and goes, "Stupid American."
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. They knew exactly what we were talking about.
Well, I feel like that sometimes when I go to the grocery store here, and they'll be like, my Spanish is fucking terrible, and they'll always be like a couple of dudes, and they'll look at you, and they're talking about you. Oh, fuck, they're saying. No.
So that's why you got to learn the bad words first. Yeah. And that's why because that comes in handy.
So how many albums do you have out now?
Not that many. I think I'm up to... I mean, not counting the ones I did when I lived here. That was ages ago now. Those haven't been re-released.
I found one. I found a CD. I think I sent a picture of it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. And it's an old one.
Yeah.
25 years ago.
Yeah, my career predates Spotify by a lot.
Yeah.
I just haven't taken the time to because there was a lot of money tied up in a couple of those that never got paid back to investors. So,
shit.
Yeah, that's not a long story, but that's I owe a lot of people a lot of money, as you know.
Probably still owes me $5.
I still owe Jerry $5 for a Mountain Dew and some chips. I think
that's what it was. Yeah, it's like we were downtown or something. Yeah, no problem, dude.
Yeah, let's have to get you that shirt.
It's we need to get that shirt made, or just a website, RodneyOwesMe5bucks.com.
Man, there's so many people that could sign up for that
Ladies
website.
And gentlemen, are you also a victim of Rodney Branigan owing you $5? Go to RodneyOwesMe5bucks.com and fill out our survey. Don't do that. That's not a real website yet.
Yet. Although saying.
Yeah. By the way, while we're here, this episode of the podcast is brought to you by Still Austin Whiskey. Still Austin, brewed in Texas, distilled in Texas, distributed in all over the place. It's all local grains. It's good shit. This is it's called the Musician, appropriately so. It's a rye blend. We've also got the cask strength and stuff in the kitchen. We'll dig into that in a little bit. Also brought to you by Lit Arcade Bar. Shout out to Lit. You got to check out Lit.
I did, man. That is really cool.
It's a pretty cool little joint.
I would have never left Amarillo if we would have had something like that.
No shit, right? We get a lot of touring bands, so they stay at that hotel across the way, Marriott. Right? Marriott's got a private parking lot, so they can pull a bus in there. I met Gary Clark Jr.
Oh, wow. I love that guy.
We met the Distillers, Brody Dahl.
Oh, wow.
Guys from Shaky Graves. The ones that I've met personally. I'm sure there's been others in there. We had a bunch of actors from Yellowstone in 1883 floating around downtown one day.
Wow.
Man. It's pretty interesting, dude.
Yeah.
And, it's such a unique place that, it's kind of fun just hanging out there and working there. I've been there since I helped them open it. So anyway, shout out Lit. Thanks for the sponsor.
Shout out Lit.
Yeah. Get that out of the way.
I'm gonna go work on that Galaga score soon.
Yeah,
or Galaga, however you pronounce it.
Galaga. You say Galaga. I can say Galaga.
Yeah, it's whatever.
English changed you.
It has.
Yeah, Galaga.
Yes.
Tell you what.
Well, I found myself using. I use the word because in another project that I do, I use a machine metal.
Yeah.
And I use the word aluminium a lot now.
Aluminium, no shit.
Aluminium. Yeah. I'm machining aluminium.
Yeah. Wait, hang on. So what do you machine?
Right now, I'm machining parts for a light fixture, which it's a long story.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a wall of 3D printers in the machine shop that I've set up in Somerset. About 15 minutes from Stonehenge, actually.
No kidding.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. It's cheap rent. That's the only reason I'm in the spot in mine.
My buddy Jared is, he's going to, what do you say it's at? Somerset?
Somerset, yeah.
I think there's a studio close by there. It's,
oh yeah, the studio. Real World Studios. Real World Studios.
Yeah, he's going there to record.
Is he?
Yeah, like in
cool.
May or June.
Yeah, that's Peter Gabriel's studio.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful studio. I've been in there.
Okay, yeah. Like,
I've never had the opportunity to record it.
Radiohead recorded there.
Everybody's recorded in Real World.
That's where he's going. Yeah. Crazy,
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's cool.
Shout out Jared.
Yeah. Good on you, buddy. That's a great studio to record in.
Cindy, that album is killer. All his new stuff's badass, but we'll digress. Get back on the show, buddy. Don't come down just to sleep on the couch. Do the show. Yeah, man. So, in your travels, you're a married fella now?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What's your wife's name?
Lisa.
I met her a while back. Remember at Sam Houston, I think.
Yeah. When
we were all sitting out in the grass. Yeah, May Magic or something like that.
Yeah, one of those festival things out there.
Yeah, funny picture.
Of course that stuff still happens out there.
Yeah, man, so they didn't do it for a couple of years. They couldn't,
Yeah, COVID just screwed everything up for everyone.
I mean, it hosed everything like nothing we've ever seen before. I talked to Reverend Horton Heat last year, and that was the conversation we had. It was about what COVID did, It was like,
Reverend Horton He's still out doing it,
He's still out doing it, man, yeah.
Good old Texas boy.
He's a good
Is
dude.
Jimmy James, that's the bass player's name, or is it?
It's Jimbo.
Jimbo, yeah.
Jimbo, yeah.
Oh, man. I used to love watching those guys play.
He did a little thing.
Was it Cadillac Ranch? No, was it called Cadillac Ranch?
Well, there was a Cadillac Ranch.
Was that the one
big bar, and then the Blue Iguana.
That's the one that was over where...
behind the United over there.
That used to be Kmart or something.
Yes.
Yeah, decades ago.
Kmart,
sorry,
shit.
Man, I'm sorry.
I mean, I lived here when it was Kmart, so...
I was trying to give directions to somebody the other day, and I was like, well, it's where the TGIF used to be, or the TGNY used to be, and the TGNY has been gone there for like at least 30 years.
TGNY, Charkill, Kmart, all that stuff's in the same vicinity.
Yeah. All that area.
All you young folks that are watching are like, fuck are they talking about?
Exactly. Back when you would put your 8-track in and drive around and go to TGNY. I love that store.
I've still got a couple of Hot Wheels cars in the blister packs with TGNY price tag.
Oh, nice, dude. Hold on to those.
Isn't that weird? But that's from like when I was a little. I got them for like a birthday present, and then they stayed in the wrappers for years. They never got unwrapped until I found this box, from like an uncle. I was like, oh, it's a crazy Christmas present. Holy shit, I was like an adult when I found this. And I'm like, oh my God,
Did you check see if it was rare? And
they weren't worth anything, but they were a little rare because of the blister pack and everything. It was just weird, And I thought, man, I feel bad because I never thanked them for this, and they're all dead now. So, weird digression, Rodney.
Well, if I hadn't run into you, I wouldn't know I still owe you $5, man.
Yeah. Oh no, I like to remind you about every 6 months.
When it comes time, you remember that $5?
Yeah, I remember $5, man. Hey, so what's this gig you got tonight? You're playing at Chalice.
Chalice Abbey, yeah. So I kind of decided when I come into town, because all of my fan base from before have kids now. Yeah. So we're trying to do a bit more family-friendly thing, because nobody wants to bring their kids to someplace like Golden Light or something like that. So this is Christy and Mike Fuller run this place, Chalice Abbey.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's who we're dealing with, I think. But it's family environment. I'll do clean set, no bad jokes, no bad words, unfortunately. So
that's why I have such a hard time getting booked around here.
I've learned the lesson, man. I have my clean set, and I have my I have several sets actually. I have the sets where I can really just go for it because I know that everybody's completely drunk, and in fact, I don't even have to tune the guitars because they're not even going to notice that they're out of tune. And then I have a set for when it's a soft, somber, quiet audience when I'm playing with folk singers, and this will be that night. So no rockin' tunes, no. Well, there'll be some rockin' tunes, but not.
Chalice Abbey at 7 p.m. Where's that?
7 p.m.
Off Georgia and by the Crunch Gym. Is that
where the TG&Y used to be?
Yeah, where the
Hastings used to be. Yeah. I think there was a furniture store there back in like 1975.
Used to be a pink Cadillac.
Showbiz Pizza was over in that area. But yeah, it's over in that area. It's over on can't remember the pier.
We suck for not knowing this address. Look up Chalice Abbey. Go to the show.
It'll be good, I promise.
What else you got playing here? Playing in the States?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I go back to the UK on Saturday.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I've got about a week off before I start a tour over there. I'm touring with a US band actually.
Really?
We've got 3 weeks in June. I've got tours in May as well, but the band called Gangsta Grass.
Okay.
They were just on America's Got Talent actually.
Really?
Yeah, it was worth a look.
What Gangsta Grass?
It's bluegrass rap.
Gangsta Grass?
Gangsta Grass.
Hang on, I'm looking this up right quick, guys.
They did that. Did you remember the TV show Justified? Did you ever watch that?
Yeah, dude, that was a great show.
They did the soundtrack for that.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's some phenomenal bluegrass musicians with 2 guys that just rip in Philadelphia.
You played some pretty interesting gigs, man. Like, what's the most interesting place that you played? All crowd aside, like the most interesting.
The most interesting experience. There's quite a few of really interesting. Some of them really have a bit of an educational value. But then, this is a great one actually. I was touring South Africa with this friend of mine, Nibs Vanderspay, and he ended up booking us a concert for a beer company called Zulu Blonde Beer, and they brew in Zululand.
Really?
Yeah, in the middle of Zululand. So we went to go do this concert, and it was in a place connected to the bar, and first off, the concert was all Norwegian nurses. Beautiful Norwegian nurses. Wow. And they were all missionaries working in Zululand, basically. And so we finished the gig, and we were kind of hanging out after the gig's done. And I still have my mandolin on my back. I put my mandolin down. I'm having a beer, talking to some of the people that were at the concert. And I turn around, and my mandolin's gone. And I think, oh, crap, somebody ran off with it. So I see these 3 guys, these 3 Zulu guys running off into the woods out. They're not even running, they're just walking. So I just run after them. I've had a bit too much to drink and probably a little bit stupid. And I go and confront these guys about, hey, where's my mandolin? They start talking to each other in Zulu, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Then this guy comes out of the woods, and he's got these 2 ladies' shoes tucked into the back of his pants. And he starts talking to these 3 guys, and then these 3 guys grab this guy by the arms and drag him back to the bar. And so they drag him back. I have no idea what's going on because I obviously don't speak Zulu. And so they drag this guy back to the bar, and then the bar manager comes out, and he's a younger Zulu guy. He's got a machete where he's holding the blade with the actual blade going up the side of his arm, and just look down at it, it's just rusty machete, like you nick your finger on it and get tetanus kind of thing. And these guys start fighting, arguing back and forth. And then the guy that they brought over grabs a beer bottle, and I'm in between them. I'm on either side. These guys are on either side of me. And so I just look at this bar manager. I was like, I just was wondering where my mandolin is. And this bar manager looks at me and he says, well, I saw this guy walking in. I know he's a thief. I grabbed your mandolin and I hid it behind the bar. So I just looked at both. I was like, you guys do what you need to do.
Oh my God.
I'm out of here now. But yeah, that's just one of those experiences you would never expect to happen. And one of those experiences where I got myself in trouble by being a bit lax and being a bit comfortable because I'd had a few drinks. So figured that lesson out the hard way.
Yeah, don't get drunk for a gig, man.
Oh, this was after the gig though. This would have been the after party.
Oh, no shit, huh?
Yeah, so that's a hard lesson.
So England, France, I assume Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Where all countries have you played in?
Let's see. So in Europe, it's I've done Denmark, Sweden. I haven't been to Norway or Finland yet. I've done Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Bulgaria, Germany, Italy, France, lots of France. That's just in continental Europe, and then Ibiza, which that's that Ibiza. Done South Africa, all over South Africa. China, all over India, Sri Lanka. I think that's.
And, how are you received in like India, China, places like that?
India, they love me.
Yeah.
India, they love me because what I do with the two guitars is actually they can attach to. There's a lot of commonality.
Yeah.
Because they use drone strings and drone notes quite a lot in the music, and that's all I'm doing with the two guitars is droning that second guitar. And then they have a lot of respect for anybody that's a master of their instrument. I mean, they have a whole religious structure dedicated to it. And
wow, that's cool.
So you have the best of that instrument, whatever that instrument is, and they call that the pandit. And nobody's in. Basically, when you're around a pandit, everybody around them is like bowing to this person. And, yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird. I never had a chance to play with any of the actual pandits. And if they're Islam, then they're not a pandit. A pandit is a Hindu master of his instrument. They call it a. I can't remember. It's a different name.
Yeah.
But yeah. So some of those experiences, I was quite fortunate. Like especially in India, the first time I went over, was MTV was bringing me over. So it was 5-star hotels, 4-star hotels, drivers everywhere. And then I met an agent there, and I met him at the MySpace launch, in this is 2008 or something like that.
A hot minute, yeah.
That's a long time ago. And we got into a discussion. He was talking about bringing me back, and he's like, "Well, it's difficult to bring you back in that kind of context." And I was like, "You know what?" It's like I don't have any preconceived. If somebody wants to book me, book it.
Yeah.
I'll sleep in a cockroach hotel, and I did.
Oh,
lots of them. Did these tours where I was waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and strapping on a guitar to get to the next sound check at 8 o'clock in the morning, and get back to the hotel. And it's there's no way to describe it. Just cockroach hotel, hostel. But just made myself available for that, and then
hissing cockroaches too. I bet.
Oh yeah. The whole shebang, man. Whole shebang.
You have sound support and all that. You just show up with a guitar. You have to bring amps and shit with you, or
no? It's usually there's sound almost everywhere around the world when they're expecting a traveling musician like that. I don't have to travel with sound. That would have been cool. That would have been impossible.
Fucking nightmare. My God.
Yeah, because I'm already touring with two guitars. That's so much already.
So you check both of them, or you carry them both? Yeah.
Well, I've got a double guitar case, so they both get checked.
Look at that! How badass. Okay, yeah.
So I had that. We had that custom made a few years ago by a cello case manufacturer.
Oh.
So it's carbon fiber. Actually, it's lighter than a single guitar case with a single guitar.
To get out, if you get a camera on right here in a second. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, but which I check that, and they break occasionally, but the insurance, musicians, union covers it for insurance.
Wait, hang on. You have musician insurance?
Mm-hmm. I have performance insurance. Ladies and gentlemen, performance insurance.
That is real shit right there.
I have to for some of those festivals, really.
Yeah.
You have to, because they want to know if I'm going to throw that guitar in the air and I knock somebody unconscious, am I going to be able to pay the bill?
Fair enough.
Yeah. So most festivals, they want you to have at least a million pound policy.
Yeah.
But once you join the musicians union, it covers all of that. So
that's cool, man.
You can pay. It's expensive. It's like £400 a year, but that covers when my instruments break. Covers my
that amount of CYA would be worth it,
Yeah.
Weird pounds, quids, euros. I mean, what is the
exchange?
Dominant? Yeah. So you're in
UK. It's just pounds.
Just pounds.
Pound sterling.
Yeah. Pound sterling.
And it always has been. But yeah, Brexit's made it a bit weird now.
Yeah. Wow, what do you think about all that deal?
It's interesting. I don't have a vote there yet, so I can't really side up politically.
We're not talking shit. We're just for the folks back home.
Yeah, because I do have some pro Brexit folks at home. I don't think it was a good idea if you're watching back in the UK, but it's not my fight. Separation,
man. That's called divide and conquer. But that's subject for another show.
It is. It's made it difficult for musicians from the UK.
Was it really?
I'm quite fortunate in that my record label is based in France, so when I go over and tour, I get to tour on my U.S. visa, which those laws with Europe are still reciprocal, so I can go over and work in Europe for up to, I think it's like 90 days.
Wow.
And then as long as I don't have to buy, so my record label makes the albums there in Europe, so that doesn't. But for a British artist going over, basically for them to cross the border, they have all of their merchandise accounted for, costed. They have all of their instruments accounted, costed, and then basically they have to fill out a document, sign a document on the way back in. They have to pay whatever is due in tax on that now, whereas before when it was all EU, you didn't. It was we all paid the same tax.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean there's other bigger problems with it, but
I think one of the first times you went, you gave me. Oh, I think you actually did pay the $5 because I think you gave me a €5 note or some shit like that, and I gave it to my daughter. This was a long time ago. Now that I think about it, I think that's the only one I've ever had. That's weird.
I got pounds.
Like small pieces of paper.
Yeah, they do it by size.
Yeah.
So blind people can know how much money they have in their hands.
Well, that's a cool idea. Yeah.
Well, I think that was
Yeah.
I just know that your €5 note's a lot smaller than your €10 note, and then you can actually kind of feel through it and feel how much money you have.
I'll be damned. What was the Adam Ant song where I write it on a pound note? It was like a giant sheet of paper.
Yeah.
The old pound note. Weird questions and stuff. So, what's the long-term goal for you, the music? I know you got some other projects going on.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's your 5-year plan, Rod?
That was my 5-year plan. Yeah. Well, my 5-year plan has changed dramatically since the lockdowns. I've got this other side project that I'm doing. It's more of an engineering project.
Yeah.
So we've just applied for the first patent for a thing that we think will reduce COVID transmission in concert venues.
Cool.
And as I'm working on 2 more, hopefully that'll end up getting patented. Just hopefully not sued by anybody. That's the main thing. And that's just a project I started out of sheer boredom. And then I guess really the next thing is just same of the same. I record another album, and as soon as the borders are free for me to tour, I'm going to tour the world again and go do India. And this 2020, I was meant to be doing my first tour of Australia, my first tour of Argentina. I was going to be in New Zealand. I was going to be all over the world again, and I don't see that happening for at least a little while because there's still so many travel restrictions. And, I mean, it was a nightmare coming over here even.
Based there, is it easier to travel to those places from there? Yeah.
Substantially.
Seems like it makes a lot more sense. I don't know why it's so fucking hard to travel those places from America.
Well, distance is one of the reasons. I mean, if you think about, for me in the UK to get to Mumbai as an example, like if I were starting an India tour, direct flight to Mumbai is 8 hours.
That's not bad.
No, but for you to get from here to Mumbai, you'd have to fly one direction or the other around the world, and it would probably be closer to 16 to 20 hours. Everything's closer over there.
Yeah.
So. In Germany, I can drive to. I can just cross the bridge, and I'm on the opposite side of the car, on the opposite side of the road, which is a bit scary when you're on the Autobahn and people are going. You're driving a Volvo that feels like it's falling apart at 100 miles an hour.
You got to, otherwise you get ran over.
Oh, you will get ran over.
You ever been to Japan?
I've been to Japan, I've been to Tokyo.
What'd you think of that?
I didn't mention that, is it? Yeah. I loved Japan. Yeah. I loved it. It's one of the cleanest places I've been that still had character. Yeah. Because Singapore is a clean place.
All radiation.
Yeah. Well, I didn't go that far. I didn't go over to Fukushima or anything like that. We just stayed in Tokyo. Yeah. Yeah, but it was an amazing place. They love music there. Oh yeah. They love rock and roll. They love. That was part of a tour where I played a festival in Hong Kong called the Clockenflat Festival, very unfortunately named.
Yeah, that's rough.
But we played the Clockenflat Festival, and then we went straight from there over to Tokyo, and we played a place called Red Shoes, and I ended up meeting a lot of people that were. One lady's apparent claim to fame was she was smuggling drugs for the Rolling Stones in their guitar cases, or it was something like it's either drugs or gold or. I don't know if any of those stories are true, obviously.
Wow. Man, you got some fucking cool stories, dude. You know, this is you need to publish your memoirs
someday.
You know,
someday, hopefully.
You know, I mean, like us here at home, we don't have a lot of interesting stories like this, and that's, one of the best things someone can do, folks, is to get out of Amarillo, Texas. Not that I can talk, because I'm stuck here all my fucking life, but I mean, of my friends, I got a buddy that moved. He just moved to California and then moved to Houston, and he became a psychotherapist. And he's just a regular jackass like the rest of us here, but because he got away. See, I'm not trying to talk shit on home, but because okay, I'm saying it because he got away, he got out of the Amarillo mentality, and he learned more big world things, and and he's just different.
Yeah,
and he's very successful. I feel like you're very successful. It's cool for those of us here to see what you've done. I remember hanging out. Yeah, we used to hang out at the Music Man over there on 6th and what was it, Kentucky?
Yeah. Yeah, oh man, I got some fond memories of that place.
Remember Brandon's Christmas commercials where they brought that Harley in the store and
that was me and Cody on the recording of that.
Was it really?
I can't remember. We had Andy Chase sing it.
Yeah.
It was Andy Chase doing the singing part on that, but yeah, and we did that in. Oh, Aaron Mason. Do you remember Aaron Mason?
I remember. Yeah.
Is he still around? Aaron?
I hadn't seen him. But...
Oh, okay. We did it in his front room. He had one of those little. It was the 480. It was the Roland VLZ 480, one of those little self-contained boxes back in the day.
Yeah.
And we mastered it down to a reel-to-reel. Yes. It was shoestring. I love that. Where is that stuff?
I've still got, I think there's still some Music Man t-shirts in this closet.
Is there, man?
Like old ones, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah, no, I have super fond memories of that place. It wouldn't, in real terms, it wouldn't have ever happened for me if that wouldn't have been for that place. I mean, he gave me an opportunity to work in a music shop. And so I took and he probably complained about it a lot, the fact that I didn't actually do a lot of work, but I ended up spending all that time practicing guitar in there, and that's...
Yeah, I remember you back in that back little corner, kind of by that bathroom.
Yeah.
Changing strings and stuff. That's where I met Cody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's out playing now as well, too.
Cody's doing pretty good, man. He's playing with Seth Ward and the Silence. Shout out, Seth. Shout out, Cody.
Shout out, Cody, man. I probably owe Cody $5 as well, actually. He probably needs a shirt.
Look, don't let him know that. That cheap son of a bitch will charge you interest. Fucking. So Seth's band was the very first band I ever had on the podcast. I'm almost approaching 3 years ago, and those guys, like Seth's fucking killing it, man. Like the Texas music
they're
charts.
Up in the charts, man.
Those guys are blowing up.
That's awesome.
Seth bought a van for me, a fucking cool van, which by the way I want back. And but he just bought. I guess I don't know if Cody was serious or not. He sent me this that they bought a fucking school bus.
Awesome.
Hang on, where's this at? Yeah. Oh, he picks it up Friday. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Cool, man.
And
they're gonna go touring in a school bus.
All I can say, I'm not gonna
see it.
You can't see it. You know what? Is of all the people I know that belongs on the short bus, that would be Cody Downs, ladies and gentlemen.
He's gonna watch, man.
He is.
And then he's going to call me about the $5 I still owe him.
Compounded interest, that's going to be about $1,132.
No doubt, man.
But he takes Venmo.
Yeah, well.
Man, so Chalice Abbey is your last... What was the last gig? It was you were Golden Night with B-Top.
Golden Night, yeah. We did that first thing landing. I mean, most of this trip was about seeing family and friends, really.
Yeah, dude.
So it's been so long, man. 3 years now. So then I was actually meant to be touring Texas when the lockdown happened. That was meant to be my first leg, and so we did that in Yellow City Sounds, and then had to get on a last-minute flight out of town, and it was just some scary shit, man.
No,
thank you, though. I still got to play a gig, Jerry.
That's not for another few hours.
This is a song I wrote about love.
Yeah. So is Chalice Abbey your last gig here?
Last gig.
You gonna go by Hoots tonight?
Yeah, so Dave Regal's got a thing on. Yeah, I'm definitely going to, because that's pretty much everybody. All the old
heads are going to be there. Yeah,
yep, I'll be there. Yeah. I'll finish my gig up there. Probably won't get there till late, but yeah, that's the plan.
He's got.
Don't tell Dave. I want to sneak up and give him a hug, secret hug.
God forbid you watch the podcast.
Don't watch the podcast, Dave.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. We're gonna take a short break, and Rodney's going to pick a tune out for us from his personal collection that he likes. So sit tight. You're going to hear from Crush. Going on, we're going to turn our attentions here to Mr. Rodney Branigan.
We're going to skip some stuff.
Yeah.
This is a song, man. I'm sure you remember, man. Like all dudes, man, one was desperate to be a rock and roll guitar player and just play some guitar solos, smash some stuff, and go to after parties. Ended up moving on to being a folk musician. And
you know, one of my favorite stories is the C.C. DeVille story.
Oh yeah.
Like in the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
At NAMM or some shit like that. He's like,
"Oh no,
you're Rodney Branigan." You're like, how the fuck do you know that?
Well, he did that at NAMM. I used to get invited to do these all-star celebrity things in LA. We were doing it was a fundraiser for a little girl that was born with a heart defect. And so some of my idols were Vinnie Paul was there, and it was, she was shortly after the Dimebag, the whole shooting thing. He was just absolutely wasted. But C.C. DeVille was there, and the guys from Prong were there. That was actually the one that was my favorite to watch. You remember Prong? I'm
friends with Tommy Victor on Twitter.
Like
we talk and stuff. Yeah,
cool.
He's a fucking cool guy.
Cool, but yeah, I did. So I did my set, and I was just hanging out, and I was in the bathroom. It was at the Beverly Hills Hard Rock Cafe. I was in the bathroom, and I saw C.C. just shoot out of one of the stalls, and then there was somebody using one of the urinals. And I looked back and I said, "Wonder how much cocaine CC is doing in that stall." And just as I said that, somebody else came shooting out of the same stall.
Oh dear.
Yeah. And you go, yeah. Well, yeah. That's Hollywood. But anyway, this is a song that I just released as a single in the UK. That's been a bit what now. It's anyway, it's about Amarillo. So I always have to tell people the imagery, explain the imagery to them, because the first line of this song is, "Where I'm from, the trees don't grow up and down because the wind blows." So, and anybody that's ever grown up someplace where they have lots of trees wouldn't actually understand what that's like, to see trees that grow away from the prevailing wind. So anyway, it goes like this. Where I'm from, trees don't grow up and down because the wind blows so, and the seedlings fly away. They're looking for a soft place to land. It's fertile ground where a tree might stand, grow tall and join the sway. They plant their roots so far from home. Journey starts off fast but all alone. One day a forest will be made. Takes one seed and a little rain. One seed. One seed. It hasn't rained for 5 years now. Not a trickle, not a drop comes down. I think farming's had its day. We'll save up and send the kids to school, 'cause city life seems much less cruel. We can spare them from the pain. Plant their roots so far from home. Journey starts out fast but all alone. And one day a forest will be made. Takes one seed and a little rain. One seed, one seed, one seed. trees don't grow up and down because the wind blows so, and the seedlings fly away. We plant their roots so far from home. Journey starts out fast but all alone. And one day a forest will be made. Takes one seed and a little rain. One seed, one seed, one seed, one seed. Woo. That's it.
That was beautiful
Thank
and
you.
poignant.
And poignant. Now we need to drink.
I don't need drinks. You don't want a shot? That was beautiful. So, when did you come out with that one?
I think this last EP I released was just 2 years ago, right before the lockdown. Really? Yeah.
What's that one called?
It's One Seed.
One Seed.
Yeah, it's one of the pretty ones.
Yeah.
Got some rockin' ones too, but
You know, my favorite one was. He used to do one a long fucking time ago, and I can't remember the chorus now. I don't think it's even on that CD. Something. My friend. Oh my gosh!
oh, Nice to See You.
Nice to see you, my friend. Yes. You remember that one?
I don't know if I can remember that one.
No. That was a great song, man.
Yeah, there's a few of those that I just can't remember. Some of them don't mean anything in the UK. Like I used to do the song "Simpled Out." It was about somebody sitting in.
Yeah.
Absolutely has no meaning in the UK. That they don't know what that phrase means. Simpled out, so it just sounds like I'm talking nonsense. So
Oh, funny.
I pulled it out of the set list. Yeah, weird ones.
What's the Amarillo song? Oh, that was the Amarillo song. Yeah. Far out.
But they all know where Amarillo is, or they know of Amarillo.
So, well, there was a song or two. What was that song? There was a big song in England about Amarillo.
Yeah, Show Me the Way to Amarillo.
Show Me the Way to Amarillo. Yeah.
It's huge. I've been riding that tide all the way.
Yeah. Man, I've had so many buddies that have toured Europe, and they go further on their laurels by telling people that they're from Texas than they do that they're from the States.
You're exotic.
Yeah, I mean that's my buddies have played Australia.
Yep.
Norway, Ireland especially.
Yeah.
Ireland fucking loves Texans.
Yep. They do. They love. Ireland loves country music. Actually,
Yeah.
It's not so popular in the UK. It's quite a small niche little thing. But in Ireland, they love it. They have country radio stations, and
Wow, that's cool.
they have their own country artists, and it's a different thing listening to somebody sing country music with an Irish accent.
Oh yeah. Oh, kind of like how everybody gets with Floggy Molly here, one time a year.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Right on, man. Well, I tell you what, dude. I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jerry.
Fucking cool. Cool to see you.
Nice to see you again, man.
Yeah, man, we haven't. Good to see you, my friend. It's we haven't had the chance to sit down and hang out and shoot the shit. And so half of what I do this for is just for that reason, just to sit down with my music friends. Because a lot of times, I never can see these guys because if they have a gig, I've got a gig, or I'm doing sound, or I'm doing something like that. And so, I don't get to see a lot of my friends perform like I'd like, but. Anyway, appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to have you on the show.
It's good to be in, man.
Yeah,
hopefully someday I can be in when you're doing your Motorhead tribute, man.
Man,
I would love to.
We're doing that. By the way, guys, Motorhead tribute for Loudmouth Lisa is May the 7th. It's a free show, and it is going to be off the rails this year. We've got Saint of Killers opening for us.
Nice.
They're doing like a half Pantera, half Motorhead tribute. I'm going to be doing some Lemmy acoustic songs and some Hepcats. Lemmy had a big 50s thing going on, so I'm going to do some of that stuff.
Well, Lemmy was in Hawkwind as well.
He was in Hawkwind, yeah. Man, I used to have a band that used to cover Silver Machine.
Oh, awesome, man.
Yeah, and this turned into more of a Motorhead and Probot tribute.
Yeah.
But because it kind of matches our sound.
Yeah.
We've done others like Metallica, because they lost Cliff Burton, and basically any of our music heroes that lost somebody, we kind of cover that stuff. Just it's a lot of fun. It ends up being our rowdiest shows of the year, and man, I wish
That's the most fun though.
Yeah. if you're ever in town, man.
Man, I'll have to plan on it.
When we do that.
I'll have to plan on that, man.
Well, guys, remember what we say, wipe front to back, clear your browser history, and go see some live music. Remember, Rodney Branigan's going to be at Chalice Abbey tonight. Today is Wednesday, April 27th, 2022. 2022. And, yeah, this will be your last chance to see him for a hot minute, so get out there and check him out. AmarilloRocks, y'all be good.